I was talking with a client recently, and she was like, "Kyle, I'm getting ready to retire. I'm getting a little bit older. I want to know if I'm on track, but really, I want to understand how do I best maximize my 401k before I retire? As I get closer to retirement, she was wanting to really make sure she was taking the most advantage of the 401k offering that she could, and so that is a common question that I get on really maximizing the 401k before you retire. So that last 5-10 years or so before retirement. Oftentimes, this is your highest earning years as well. So there's a few things to think through. I can think of three off the top of my head. The first is whenever you're uh, getting closer to retirement, understanding how much to contribute to your 401k to be able to achieve the goals that you're trying to accomplish is paramount. So what do I mean by that is if you are contributing solely to your 401k, you're not saving anywhere else, that may or may not actually be the best strategy, because especially if you want to retire a little bit earlier or you want to be the most tax efficient that you can. Yes, a 401k does provide some awesome tax benefits to you. However, other types of accounts may be more beneficial to use to spread out your tax bill over your lifetime, because any dollars that you make into a traditional 401k, for example, uh, that is going to be pre-tax. And so anytime you take the money out of that, you're going to have to pay taxes on that. And if you want to spread out your tax bill over lifetime, you may want to spread out the types of accounts that you're investing in. So while you may want to maximize the 401k benefits because it does give you the match and it's something that you've been saving into all of this time, as you get closer to retirement, you may want to consider other options to be able to give yourself options once you retire and not have to pay tax every time you take money out of your account. So you want to understand the different types of accounts that you have access to outside the 401k to really know if you're maximizing your 401k or not. The second thing is understanding that within the 401k, if you the contributions you are making within the 401k, you may want to check what you have been doing, because if it's been a while since you've looked at it, and for many people it is okay, it's okay. Don't feel bad about that. Uh, you want to understand: are you doing traditional contributions, which is going to be contributions that you get a tax benefit now, but then whenever you take the money out in retirement, you're going to pay taxes on it, versus a Roth contribution where you're paying taxes now on the money that you've contributed, but whenever you pull it out, it's then tax free. And you may be thinking, well, if I'm getting closer to retirement, you may not have enough time for the Roth benefit to really accumulate. But don't forget that retirement is often going to last 20 or 30 years, possibly, maybe even more, depending on your age, if you're retiring early and how healthy you are and all of that. So you want to understand the difference between a Roth contribution and traditional contribution, and which one should you be doing. A lot of times there's a little misconception or misunderstanding that if you're doing the contribution to your Roth 401k, you're not going to be getting any matching from the company, which is wrong. The company still matches your contributions, even if you're doing the Roth contribution. It's the company still matches that. If you're a salaried cast member, for example, they match 50% up to 4% of your contributions. So the last thing that you want to consider is if you are older than 60, there is an additional catch-up contribution provision that Congress has passed a few years ago that allows you to do more contribution catch-up than even what you could do before. So, for example, you maybe remember your maximum 401k contribution. A lot of times people think the maximum contribution is some percentage. It's not. It's just a dollar amount. So you can contribute, at least in 2025, you can contribute $23,500 a year into your 401k. If you're under the age of 50, then you remember at age 50 you have now the ability to contribute more, which is an additional $7,500. So making it a total $30,000 if you're between 50 and 60. But once you're 60, now Congress passed a law recently where now you can actually do an additional contribution of $11,250 from age 60 to 63, giving you more opportunity to put more money away into that 401k. And again, you can do that as a Roth contribution or a traditional contribution or both. Whichever you prefer. Now the plan, the Disney 401k plan, does put some limitations on those contribution limits depending on what your income is. So you can only contribute up to 50% of your income. That's maybe where some people have the idea of, well, there's a maximum percentage. The maximum percentage is just so that Disney has enough paycheck to pay out all the other health insurance and all the other stuff that they need to, and that is a rarer situation. Usually someone's doing that whenever one spouse has a sufficient income to be able to cover the other spouse in their expenses. So then one spouse is able to maximize almost all of their paycheck. I've seen that happen a handful of times over the years. And so, anyways, those are the three things whenever you think about how to maximize your 401k benefit. One is, should you even be maximizing your 401k benefit as far as contribution amounts? Two, you want to understand the difference between traditional and Roth contributions. And three, if you are over age 60 or over age 50, you do have the ability to contribute more than the annual maximum due to catch-up contribution provisions passed by Congress. So I hope you found that helpful. My name's Kyle. I live here in Winter Garden. My office is here in Winter Garden, Florida, but I work with folks virtually across the country, work with a lot of Disney folks in particular. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to chat. And I hope you found value in that. And take good care.